Devastated, confused, heartbroken. So many times in life we get thrown for a curve and don't know how to react.
I can tell you the first time I had sex, how was my marriage going to survive? It's over. I remember standing in front of the judge with my 3-week-old baby, looking at my ex. I saw the look on his face, and it was complete rage.
Welcome to When Life Throws You a Curve and How to Make the Adjustment with your host, Katie Hamilton.
Hey everyone, welcome to When Life Throws You a Curve and How to Make the Adjustment. I'm Katie Hamilton. Thanks for joining me today. We are still knee-deep in quarantine, and today we are going to be discussing all things family dynamics and how to maintain harmony in your home when we are in close quarters. Before we get to it, I want to check in with Cash. I feel like it's been forever since we've gotten to hear from Mr. Cashmoney. So Cash, tell me, how is quarantine life treating you? What have you been up to and how are you doing?
First off, I'm doing great. Staying safe, taking all the protocols in place. When I go to the grocery store, I'm wearing a mask. And
Good boy.
Yeah, I'm trying to be good. I pretty much live in my room. I don't leave this. This is my office. This is where I sleep, eat. This is everything for me right now. So I try to get out of here when I can and go for walks and exercise up on the top of the parking garage. But that's about it.
Do you ever get claustrophobic or feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't get out of here, I'm going to lose it?
Yeah. I'm on screens a lot, whether it's just for business or for pleasure. So, when you're it's all in like one area. And I have a roommate and he's doing his job and he's got his screens going. And so when he wants to relax, he's got Netflix going on in the main room. And so it's a lot going on all in one place. And he does more business, like finance stuff. And so we're two different ends of the spectrum. I'm more creative.
Entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment. Yeah. And he's on the other side.
When you said I'm, inside this room, I get claustrophobic. I didn't when I was a kid, but as the years went on, for whatever reason, I just I need to have space. I need to breathe. And my kids are very much the same way. We all have to have our alone time to be able to recharge our battery. And so I've been learning more things. I think my kids are learning a lot about themselves during this time, which is kind of, it's fascinating to see that take place. And we as a family are learning together. But it definitely can get monotonous.
Yeah,
I don't know. Have you found that you have less energy to work out, or do you find you have more energy to work out? What's your have you seen any changes in your personality dynamics, or how you usually are compared to how you are right now?
I've enjoyed the challenge of trying. I certainly do miss the gym. I don't know if I have any less energy. I certainly have more of a drive to I got to get out of my apartment. So, I'm wearing my smartwatch more to see how many steps I got going on. And when it looks pathetic, it's yeah, I've been sitting all day. I need to go. I'm a big fan of my Monster.
Oh, your Monster drinks. Yes.
I keep all my Monsters in my car. So at least it forces me to walk further to go get them.
Well, that's actually pretty clever. They don't get hot?
Actually, I don't mind room temperature. Cold is great, but
I'm a room temperature person too. Yeah. And I guess it hasn't been that hot out. Well, that's good. You got to go chase down those monsters. You're at least getting up 4 or 5 times a day.
I don't drink. Right? I don't drink 4 to 5. That would probably be more in the realm of what my brother drinks. I picked this habit up from him, so I blame him.
Oh my God.
But I drink maybe 2 to 3.
I think I'm gonna say you have to drink at least 3 because you're still drinking at 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I don't really feel anything for like the caffeine. It's more the taste. I like the taste. I mean, I can go to bed. I mean, I can drink a Monster and then just crash.
Have you ever tried to go off of them?
Yeah, I've done that for like about 2 weeks or so, and it's fine. I don't get caffeine headaches or anything
You
like that.
don't?
No.
That's pretty remarkable. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah,
Very
I'm just
good.
one of those unlucky people that probably, a number of folks out there was like, man, I hate that guy. How does he not?
I'd like to see your adrenals and how they're working. Or
Yeah, I'm
maybe
sure
in
I
10
got,
years.
yeah, I don't know how it's affecting all the inside. I'm sure I got poison running through my veins.
Well, you know what? We're in tough times right now. So you got to do what you got to do
I
for
know I gotta have
survival.
my little,
And you got to have your monster drinks. It's been so funny. I've listened to so many, neuroscientists and, psychiatrists, psychologists, um, mental health therapists, like all the therapists, all the things, all the doctors across the board. And the one thing that every single one of them have consistently said is, whatever you got to do, make the adjustment to be good, to feel good, to stay sane. If it's like putting your kids in front of the TV, it's fine. It's fine. Put your kids in front of the TV. I mean, like they're giving out a lot of free passes right now that I don't think I've ever really heard in times past.
yeah,
But it is unprecedented for us, for this generation. So,
certainly.
I think that if it's coming from a doctor, and especially at that level, they're saying, it's okay for you to do X, Y, and Z. That gives like the parents or, adults or whoever the free pass,
Yeah, it's
like
like
that gives them like assurance that they're not like the crappiest parent ever.
yeah, it's like what they say in Parks and Rec, treat yourself. You gotta treat yourself.
I lost you, Cash. What'd you say?
Like in Parks and Rec, the TV show, you gotta treat yourself.
Treat yourself. That's right.
And
All
don't
right.
go
So
overboard, but
no, don't go overboard. Well, I honestly, everybody else has had, I think, generally speaking, maybe more time on their hands, unless you're a doctor or, doing the news or in the medical field or someone like me. I have had so much less time. I mean, I've sat more. I mean, like my back has been hurting very, very badly. I have not been able to work out nearly as much because I've been, full on teaching all the different, different kids with they're at different levels. And Julia, I still, she's not here, but we talk on the phone. I mean, maybe too much at this point because I'm like, okay, I love you so much, but I have got to go. I have to do, and then I list my list and she's like, oh, okay. But like we're really missing each other. It's been a couple of months since we've been able to see each other. So that's been hard, but
yeah, you're juggling a lot of things.
but yeah, between work and court and being my own attorney, and my 4 kids and my household and my businesses and trying to figure out like what all is going on with that. Cause I'm not, they're closed and they keep changing the rules, like we're going to, they just like, they change the rules of when they're going to let people come, when they're not. It has been, in a word, beyond. It's been, beyond. I mean, I can't say it's been bad. Like there's been so much of this that I've loved. But I feel like there's been a lot of it that I've been forced to do that should not ever have been, my like asked of me. I don't mean like my kids and work. It's more of what I referred to before, like the court situation.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with court stuff for, well, really decades, but for the last 5 years consistently. And I've always had a pretty good attitude, not that I've like wanted to take part in it, but I've had a good attitude about it. I have a mediocre at best attitude about it at this point. I do not, because I feel like there's so many injustices happening and I don't think that it's viewed that way, or I don't think people really know is what it is. Like, I don't think that all the parties involved actually know what's going on. And so the fact that, there could be time of mine spent, doing more things with my kids, or I could be, well into my second book already, where I'm still finishing my first book. Although my second book it's being written in my mind as we speak.
There we go.
And and it may be done before my first book, because I have a lot of material for the second one. I got my title, I have my cover. So, that side of my brain has been on and working, even while I'm having to, do algebra, learn family law, answer
Making the
discovery,
most of the situation.
blah, 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 right? So anyway, I will be, I can say at least, even though my body feels like it's been, my brain has been
on overdrive,
like balls to the freaking wall. I mean, it has just been nonstop. It's been, it's definitely been getting workout. Okay, so one more question before we switch gears. How is the dating life?
Of course.
Because I have news too, but I want to hear about yours.
Mine, man. Well, I don't know if it's really advancing. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, we've all been in quarantine for more than a month now, and I mean, there's a lot of lonely people out there, whether it's guys or girls. There's a lot of lonely girls out there, I'm sure. I mean, a lot of my friends, they're sticking to the code, and they're not seeing anybody, and they're staying in their apartments, and so I'm fortunate to have a roommate, so at least I get some human interaction. But I chat with a lot of girls. I mean, I've chatted with a number of them, whether it's on Bumble or Hinge. That number has gone up quite a bit now. Does it get anywhere? Not really. It kind of, it hits a wall. It hits a brick wall. Because, how long can you really talk or say the same thing? It's like, hey, how's your quarantine going? What are you doing today? It's like, well, they did the same thing that they did yesterday, which is they probably worked at their desk after they got out of their bed, which is, over here. And then they went to their kitchen, and maybe they went to Target or the grocery store, or they went for a walk.
I haven't been to the grocery store. I have not gone. I've gotten Instacarted or Amazon.
Maybe you'll find a risk taker out there that wants to live, on the edge. And
on the edge. Dangerous.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I've been, I reactivated my Bumble, and oh my gosh, it's just the most fascinating thing. So I talked with you about putting in all these filters. So I've put in all my filters.
Good. Meet some people out.
Yeah, there's just a lot. It's a lot of activity. I haven't gotten, I don't know. I haven't gotten to the point of responding, but I have a lot of DMs in my Instagram from people that saw me on Bumble. And
you put your handle on there.
Yeah. My handle's on there. Yeah, because that means I have to give less information. They can just, I told you, I would be such a lazy dater.
No, that's a good point. I feel like some girls, because I see a lot of girls or a lot of women.
I do have pictures, but I feel like it's more disclosure in a way. That way I don't have to list my favorite songs or.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of women do it just to maybe get more followers.
I don't ever think about that.
They say that's I don't get on this app that often, and they just leave their Instagram handle. It's so you have to. I guess they're trying to forward you to their Instagram to DM.
But these people don't. But they don't have to follow you to DM that. You don't have.
Oh, you don't. You're just they just say that's I don't get on this app that much. Here's my Instagram handle where I check it on a daily basis. So maybe they'll actually pay attention to you, or maybe they're just trying to get more Instagram followers. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I can see your point. I did not think about the followers thing. And I can tell you, I've been so busy this past 2 weeks that I've been very bad at even checking my DMs. I feel a little guilty. My social media game has been. It's not been the best.
Everybody,
but
tough times.
I hope so. If any of y'all are listening, I love you very much and appreciate you, and thank you for your patience.
You've done a lot of things. If you would have seen those social media posts of you teaching your kids, how to do long division, then I'm sure they'll.
I can slice them long division. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus, for making me love math, because teaching your 14-year-old Pythagoras' theorem. It's the like Pythagorean theorem. Yeah. I had to like look his name up because I don't know. It doesn't make sense that they added those extra letters on there and then put theorem on. But I remembered it from when I was in school. I was like, yeah, that's a plus squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Yeah.
Sierra was like, oh my gosh, that's right. I was like I loved my teacher that taught me that whole algebra situation.
Was she like, Mom, you're such a nerd?
Yes, she does think I'm such a nerd. And Mom, will you do my homework?
I was there too. Trust me. I was a horrible writer. Believe it or not, I majored in journalism eventually, but
That's surprising.
I was a horrible writer when I was a kid, and when I got into high school. I think my brother and my mom wrote most of my papers and typed them up.
But no, I actually understand what you're saying, because I love writing. I mean, I'm writing books. I wrote my paper my junior year, and my teacher was like, I think you plagiarized this. I was like, She gave me a B. I was like, well, F it, I'm not going to be writing anymore. And I paid somebody to pay to write my senior paper because I was so pissed off. But my mother, she did so much of my homework. I just was not interested in having someone else tell me what I had to do. And I mean, and I love to learn. So it's just a weird thing. But my kids they're very good students. They have a lot more drive and ambition than I do. Sierra does not like math though. That's the only subject that she's just like.
Oh. What would you say her strength is?
Oh, she's very good at writing. She's an excellent reader. You're gonna be introduced to Sierra here in just a few minutes. I'm gonna have her on. I'm
looking forward to it.
I thought it would be interesting today to really talk about keeping harmony in our house and what does that look like? What have my kids found to be helpful? What have they found, that they might need more of? Whereas, when life is so busy and we're all running 50 million different places at once, she being 14, she may not notice like her sister's all up in her business, Yeah. But since we're here, and constantly, in each other's space, there's definitely times where she just needs to take a timeout. Like, I need a timeout. And me being able to give that space to her and set up some boundaries, it's been like a really good boundary teaching time. That's in a different way. This is like practical boundary setting, not just like someone.
Yeah, it's good to get a kid's take, because a lot of times they can cut through the crap. I mean, adults, I don't know, we got a lot, I guess, else going on, and sometimes kids just keep it simple.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times parents or adults don't take what the kid's saying seriously. They kind of like minimize it because they're a child, but I think that can be a dangerous or scary road to go down. To just continuously dismiss your kids when they're trying to talk to you, because one, you want your kids to communicate with you. I mean, you're always going to want that. And when they stop doing it, that's concerning. And two, a kid's only going to bring something up or approach you about it so many times and get shot down before they are finally just like, well, they're not going to listen to me, so I'm just not going to bring it up. Like, why waste my time? Mm-hmm. And I always want to avoid that. Hence, let me just say this real quick. The blessing of me having having my kids over the span of, a decade or whatever, allows me to have an adult daughter and an 8-year-old. Okay. And so I've got 4 kids, and they've been spaced out so much that I can see how fast everything goes. And I can appreciate the season of life that they're in, knowing, what the next one's going to look like, the next phase of life they're going to go through, and how quickly things change. So it's, if I had my kids all bunched together, I don't think I would have been able to see and understand that as much as a mom. And it's been definitely been a benefit for me as a parent. Not that other parents that have their kids close together can't do it. It's just, for me as a human, that's something that I needed in order to probably appreciate and give my kids what they needed for the season of life that they're in. Which is why Julia, because she always has felt like she can come and talk to me, and she has a voice, and I, have always treated her like a human, even if she's been my kid. She still calls me 10 times a day. We still talk, all the time. And I'm very grateful for that. And I want to look at this. Look at these bangs. You're not having any hair trouble. Did you find someone to like trim your hairline?
I tried to do it myself.
How did that go?
It was a little, I got the job done. I got it off my neck, but it was uneven. I had my mom clean it up for me a little bit.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
I don't have a girlfriend or anything,
So have you done the virtual dates though? Because that's what I was actually, I totally chased a rabbit. I've been asked to do virtual dates. I haven't, but.
Nah, I'm just.
Not even.
This thing's it's extended, and
You're like, why bother?
I'm just gonna wait.
I'm not gonna get to round the bases. I'm just gonna stay at home.
That's not really I'm not gonna say it's like, well, it's all or nothing. But
well, I meant, eventually maybe.
It'd be nice to just like take it to the next step of just like actually physically meeting that person and talking with them in person. Because I feel like I'm much better in person. Like, yeah, I can be a charmer on texts, and especially when I have time.
I could see you being a charmer. Look at that.
But yeah, when I'm in.
But you're like, no, don't give away all your secrets. You got to save them. Keep them in the tank.
I feel like I'm much better in person.
Really?
I feel like I am.
I think you're very pleasant.
Well, that's nice.
Not that I don't have a whole lot to go on based on your text. Sorry, while I just fixed my hair here. There's not much that can be done to it. All right. Well, I think we should get this show on the road, and I think we should take a quick break so I can get. I'm going to bring Sierra on first. She's my 14-year-old, and we are going to chat about life in quarantine as a teenager.
All right, let's toss it to a break.
All right. Yeah, let's toss it to a break. Oh, Cash, it was great catching up with you.
Likewise, and just quick, it's my birthday out there, so everyone just
happy birthday, Cash. We are going to bake you a cake. We'll celebrate it here, but we will eat it in your honor. What's your favorite kind of cake?
Definitely chocolate.
Do you like chocolate cake with chocolate icing?
Yes.
Or do you like chocolate?
Double
yes.
up.
Yep. Oh, I like it. Oh my gosh. You're a man after my own heart. Okay. Well, we will rock that out. All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back to When Life Throws You a Curve and How to Make the Adjustment. I am being joined by my beautiful 14-year-old daughter, Miss Sierra Hamilton. Sierra, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So today's episode, as you know, we are talking about family dynamics in quarantine and how to maintain harmony in the home. And I thought it would be fun to hear from my kids, or at least one of them. We'll see how many we get to. I know your sisters are still working on their school, but your opinion is very important because you are, you're 14, you're a teenager, but having to live in quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
So that means like you didn't get to do cheer tryouts, no softball season. That was bang. You had like 1 or 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
You're back homeschooling, which I have shared with the audience that the homeschooling part necessarily wasn't such a huge curve because that's something that we've done off and on. It actually really helped you when you went to school because you already knew how to work independently.
Mm-hmm.
But what have been some of the more challenging aspects of quarantine? We're going to start with challenges first.
Okay.
Both, like, it can be anything, like friends, kids, being at the house. You just, what's been specific, if I can talk, specifically hard for you?
Probably like one of the hardest parts is just like being home with my sisters like all day, every day. 'Cause like when I went to school, I was gone for 8 hours of the day, and then I would come home and like see them, which like would be fine because I wouldn't be with them all day long. So that's been kind of hard, and also not seeing my friends has been hard too. But yeah.
What do you feel like has been helpful for you to manage the, your sisters being around 24/7 and not having, time with your friends? Like, because that's like kind of like a double whammy.
Yeah.
So what have we done, or what have you felt things that we've kind of implemented that have been helpful for you to cope during? Address first the sibling thing.
Okay. So with my siblings, I like obviously I'll hang out with them for like a couple hours, and then I'll go I need like a break to like recharge my battery. So I'll like either go on a walk in our neighborhood, or I'll go in my room and like watch a movie or something, and just like take a time out from being around everyone, because I need time to recharge, or else I'm not my best self for everyone else. So being home, I have to like go and like take breaks and like get away, and then I can like come back and feel better and like be my best self.
That was very well said.
Thank you.
Do you feel like when you shared your need to like have a timeout and like have me support you with that boundary that was put in, in the home, like, okay, your sister's having alone time. Don't go near her room. If it's an emergency, I'm right here, and you're not going to have an emergency that you need Sierra for. You may like want to figure out how to do something on YouTube or something, but you can wait. That does not qualify as an emergency. So, when you shared with me your need to have alone time and recharge and help you establish that boundary, how did that make you feel?
I definitely feel like you respect that, and you step in and you tell my sisters like, hey, leave your sister alone for a little while, and like I'll go and I'll have my alone time, and then I'll come back and we'll all have dinner together. But like you respecting that and like letting me be by myself for a little while like actually really helps me.
So interesting if you think back just a few years ago when Julia was here at home and she would ask for alone time to charge her battery. I'm sorry, my hair is driving me nuts. Isn't it different how the perspective changes when you are like when you go from from age 10 to 14 or 12. You're not 16 yet, but 12 to 16. How different things look when you're just a couple years older.
Yeah, I was really surprised. Like I just thought Julia was just like didn't want to like hang out with us or anything. But like now I realize that it's just everyone needs a break from your sisters and everyone that you live with. Sometimes.
Yeah, and I even need a break, and I'm the mom, and I love you kids more than anything in the world. But as you said, if you get that time to recharge your battery, then you can come back and you can be your best self. Yeah. And so I know if I'm feeling like drained and depleted, and maybe I haven't slept the night before, maybe I've been working on, a million different things. And then I feel like I have everyone needing something from me. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just have to, in my recharge is like a quick workout. If I can get even 20 minutes in, I'm such a different person. Just, I feel different, and then I'm able to be such a much better parent, to you and your sisters. So, well, I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of your hard work. You're making excellent grades. You're an extremely good example for your sisters. So as a mom, I appreciate that. What is the first thing that you want to do when you get out of quarantine?
Honestly, I haven't thought about it because it will be summertime. Mm-hmm. And like, I'll probably just like go see my friends or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We need to have like a quarantine's over party here at the house.
Yeah, that would be
Have
fun.
pizza and go swim. Or actually, no, we're going to want to not be here.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny if like the first thing we do, we like have it at home? I don't know. We'll have to think about that. You have a favorite Netflix or favorite show? It doesn't have to be Netflix that you've watched on quarantine, something that you found good, fascinating, funny?
Probably The Good Place. I've already watched it before, but I watched it again because I really liked it.
I've actually heard that's really, really good.
It's funny.
I think some of the same people that did The Office did some of that. There were some of the same. Yeah, I'll have to watch it because one of your sisters really likes it too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What's your favorite activity to do here when you're not doing schoolwork? Is there anything that you really feel like that's been fun? Like a game we've played or karaoke?
I love to sing, so probably karaoke. Yeah. Or coloring.
Oh yeah, you color. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not. I don't really have the patience.
I
to do
can't
that.
draw, but I can color.
You color beautifully. Your dad colors very pretty too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got that from him. Well, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was a piece of advice you could give to parents, what would it be from a teen's perspective in quarantine?
Probably just like respect how your kids feel, and like just because they're like young, like don't like dismiss
them.
what they're saying. Just like give them a chance and just like actually listen to what they're saying.
Because do you think even if a parent can't do what the child is asking,
Mm-hmm.
if it's either impossible or they're financially not able to or legally not allowed to, do you feel like sometimes if you're just heard and paid attention to and you've been able to share and get it
Share
out
how you feel, yeah.
And I think that's what you're talking about more with respect your opinion, just like respect the fact that you're also a human and
yes.
you're going through a challenging time also. And it is, I do agree with you. I think it's important for parents to acknowledge that their kids have feelings and thoughts and, they're going through stuff too. So that's very good advice.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you joining me. I don't know if your little sisters are around. I was going to ask them a couple fun little rapid fire questions, but thanks for being here, baby.
Of course.
All right, we're going to go to a break. We'll come back in just a few minutes and have a little bit more on When Life Throws You a Curve and how to make the adjustment. Welcome back to When Life Throws You a Curve and How to Make the Adjustment. I am here with my second guest of the day, the beautiful, very talented Miss Michaela Hamilton. Welcome, Michaela. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes, anytime. Michaela is my 11-year-old fifth grader, and Michaela and I have been having quite a few pretty, feel like deep, good discussions on all kinds of things, not the least of which quarantine and how to manage it, how to navigate it. So I wanted to hear from her. I want to get your perspective, and we're going to start out with some fun stuff. What has been your favorite thing about quarantine and your least favorite thing?
Favorite thing was spending time with family, not being as busy. And my least favorite thing is not being able to go to like stores or see friends.
Yeah, Target's missing you right now. Those are very good. Okay, what has been, have you had a favorite show or a favorite at-home activity?
My favorite show is Family Reunion, and my favorite activity is have like movie night.
Yeah, I like movie night too, for sure. Okay, what advice, this is like a little bit more serious. Now, what advice would you give to either kids who are maybe feeling depressed or overwhelmed or frustrated about having to be at home, or maybe even to the parents that their kids could be feeling like this? But let's put it to the kids. Like, let's say if you could give advice to other kids your age Obviously, they have to have their parents' permission to, you know, do some of these things that you might suggest. But what are things that you have felt helpful? Like what are some things that you have, you know, found to be effective? And what would you recommend if people are feeling a little bit overwhelmed or just uneasy about the situation?
Maybe to like go outside. I like to listen to music and dance outside because it's really fun. Or like if you have a pet, sit with your pet because that helps me.
Yeah, that you're definitely a animal lover. And Wrigley, we got Wrigley a couple months, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. He's been a blessing to you for sure. Going outside is really important. There's a lot of studies that talk about the sun and how getting vitamin D on our actual skin, you know, of course, people not enough, like, you know, to cause damage, but there is numerous benefits. It's good to get sun, you know, in through our eyes in the morning, and then, you know, on our bodies. We need that for our immune system. So we go outside at least 15 to 20 minutes every single morning if it's not raining, and just let that sunlight be. And we don't go out all covered up. We go out with, you know, without our hoodies on. And that is really important. What else do you have? Any other tips?
If your family's like stressed, maybe like suggest fun ideas for y'all to do as a family so they can get away from like work. Because that's helped us, like when we just put our work aside and then like do board games and cook or bake. That's helped us.
Yeah, because the work will be there, you know. But it is, I agree with you. And sometimes someone needs to suggest it, because I know if I'm like deep doing my work and my mind is like, you know, entrenched in that, it's not going to be my first thought to be like, oh, I'm just going to stop doing what I'm doing and play a board game. But if one of you kids comes and suggests it to me, or even if I feel like you guys are overwhelmed with homework on something, I'm like, okay, you know what? We're just going to take a break. Let's go do something fun. And then, you know, calm down, have fun, get some energy out, take some deep breaths, and then we can get back to it with a much clearer mind. And then what about, you know, talking about things like when you're upset or confused or unsure or nervous?
One thing that's helped me is just like going ahead and saying it, which has also helped me with like doing it with people. If there's like a problem like that we're upset with each other about, I just go ahead and say it, so it doesn't like make me feel guilty or anything like that, like take a while. So it helps to just say it and then like discuss it with your parents.
That's so good, Michaela, because yeah, people aren't mind readers, so we can't always know exactly what's going on in, you know, each other's minds. So communication is very important, and it does require some bravery, you know, but as the more you do it, the better you get at it, the easier it becomes, and you see the benefits of it, and that for sure, you know, makes it easier. Yes, and you have become an excellent communicator. I've seen you just become such a brave little kid. And also, one other thing I'm going to suggest, and this is something that we've talked about and we've actually done, is if the home is feeling very stressful, is to try to change the atmosphere of the home. So like we'll put on worship music, you know, or do a Bible study, just, you know, something to change that stressful atmosphere and turn it around to like a place of worship, a place of peace, a place of, you know, because your home is supposed to be your like your safe place and a place of rest and, you know, restoration. And it's very hard to feel restored if you're, you know, if it's, you know, if your sisters are fighting, or if, you know, you're overwhelmed with work or any of that stuff. So just changing the atmosphere can do wonders. So you had great tips. Thank you so much. And trust God, because what does he do?
He provides.
He provides. He always provides. So we do what we can do. We pray, we try to plan, but we trust that he always provides. Yep. All right. Well, thank you for being here. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Join me next week. We have a very special episode for Mother's Day coming up. Also have an episode about boundaries. It may end up being a two-parter. My mom's going to make an appearance. Julia's going to make an appearance. And of course, we're going to check back in with Cash and see how his birthday plans turned out. But in the meantime, happy birthday, Cash. So until next week, I hope you guys stay safe and stay healthy, and I will see you then. Thanks for joining me on When Life Throws You a Curve and How to Make the Adjustment. Come find me on social media on Instagram and Twitter at Katie Hamilton 32, on Facebook at Katie Hamilton, and at When Life Throws You a Curve 32, and on YouTube at Katie Hamilton.